The first sign did not come from the sky. It came from the ground. Every forest, desert, and ocean trembled as something vast entered Earth's orbit. Animals felt it before any human did. Birds stopped mid-flight. Wolves froze in their tracks. Even the fearless honey badger paused, staring up as the air itself hummed with strange pressure. At the same time, in the high deserts of Australia, a research base picked up the first signal. The scientists thought it was an asteroid, but then it changed direction. Within minutes, the night sky turned silver as an enormous ship blotted out the stars. The aliens called themselves the Vorak Dominion. They had conquered 100 worlds, enslaved countless species, and now looked at Earth as a place of untamed creatures. To them, humanity was soft, but Earth's beasts were trophies waiting to be caged. When the first scout ships landed, they didn't attack cities. They landed in the wild. They wanted to prove control, to show the galaxy that even Earth's animals would kneel. A small team of Vorak soldiers descended near a canyon. Their leader, General Koresh, recorded his words for the galactic broadcast. Observe. Even the wilds of this primitive world will obey. He activated a pulse beacon that sent a wave of sound through the valley. The animals fled, except one. A single honey badger stood in the dust, tiny against the alien armor. Its eyes glowed in the light from their weapons. It did not move. Koresh laughed, stepping closer. See? The small one freezes in fear. Then the badger attacked. The soldiers had shields, plasma rifles, and reflexes faster than most species, but they were not ready for a creature that didn't care about pain or death. The badger tore into armor joints, ripping cables with impossible strength. When it was shot, it didn't fall. It screamed, a deep, broken sound that echoed through the canyon like thunder. The Vorak stumbled back. They had seen beasts before, but nothing that fought like this, nothing that refused to stop. By the time Koresh killed it, 2 of his soldiers were down, and his armor was covered in claw marks that wouldn't fade. He kicked the lifeless body and hissed, "Savage thing." Record deleted. No one needs to see this failure. But satellites had already captured the footage. Within hours, it spread among the human networks, footage of an alien warrior being driven back by a small black and white creature. The world laughed first, then grew quiet, because more landings came. Africa, Siberia, the Amazon. The aliens were everywhere, and their plan was simple. Capture samples of every major predator, break them, and study their instincts for war. But Earth's beasts were not quiet victims. Packs of wolves hunted alien drones at night. Elephants trampled their camps. Crocodiles dragged armored scouts into dark rivers. And in every continent, humans started to notice a strange coordination between animals. It wasn't random. It was as if the planet itself had decided to fight. One field officer, Captain Maya Torres, saw it firsthand in Kenya. Her team arrived too late to evacuate a village, expecting to find slaughter. Instead, they found broken alien vehicles and lions guarding the survivors. The lions did not flee from the soldiers. They growled softly and walked away as if their duty was done. Reports spread fast. Animals were acting together, ignoring their instincts, standing against the invaders. The internet called it the Earthlink. No one knew how or why, but something ancient had awakened. A shared defiance buried deep in every living thing born under Earth's sun. The Vorak didn't understand fear. They studied it as weakness. But when they tried to dominate Earth's beasts, they found something older, something primal, the will to survive at any cost. Koresh returned to his flagship with broken armor and a wounded pride. His superiors demanded answers. "You promised conquest. Why do you bring losses?" He replayed the moment of the honey badger's attack, the screaming static, the chaos. "These creatures, they do not retreat. They do not recognize rank or terror. They fight beyond logic." His commanders dismissed him. "Then eliminate them. Burn the wilds. Make examples." Koresh bowed, but his eyes twitched. Deep inside, a small fear began to grow, the kind he couldn't erase with orders. Down on Earth, storms gathered. Satellites caught massive migrations of animals moving toward key regions. Wolves and bears crossing territories, birds darkening the skies, elephants forming herds larger than any in recorded history. It was like the planet was preparing. Humans fortified cities, but secretly many began to believe that maybe, just maybe, Earth wasn't only theirs to defend. Something else was standing with them. And in a hidden lab, Captain Torres played the video of that first honey badger fight again. She paused it on the last frame, where the creature, even in death, had its claws buried in the alien's chest plate. She whispered, "You refuse to bow. Maybe that's what makes us Earthborn." Outside, thunder rolled. The war hadn't even begun, and the aliens were already afraid. General Koresh stood before the viewing glass of his command ship, watching Earth's surface glow in patterns of fire. Cities burned in small clusters, yet the wild remained untouched. Every bombardment order returned the same result. Forests still moved, deserts still shifted, oceans still stirred. The planet seemed alive, and it did not fear him. He clenched his claws, whispering, "This world disobeys." On the ground, Captain Maya Torres led a convoy through the cracked savannah. The air shimmered with heat, the smell of ozone heavy after another alien strike. Her radio buzzed with static until a deep rumble broke through. At first, it sounded like thunder. Then it grew louder. The Earth itself was moving. Out on the horizon, dust rose like a storm. Hundreds of animals were running, not away, but toward the sound of alien machines. Elephants, rhinos, buffalo, lions, even wild dogs. The sight froze her soldiers. "Are they retreating?" one asked. Maya shook her head. "No, they're charging." Alien walkers appeared from behind the ridge, tall metal creatures moving with mechanical grace. They fired plasma bolts into the herd. The ground exploded, but the beasts did not stop. The elephants crashed into their legs, tusks tearing through armor like spears. Lions leapt onto glowing panels, claws sparking. The sky filled with birds that dived at sensors and optics, blinding the walkers completely. The roar that followed drowned out the weapons. It wasn't one animal. It was the entire wild screaming together. Inside the alien command channel, panic spread. "Sector F down! Unit 87 offline! They're overwhelming the perimeter!" Koresh slammed his fist on the console. "Deploy suppression gas!" They are animals, but the gas barely slowed them. Even the smallest creatures, meerkats, jackals, insects, seemed driven by a single purpose: attack, disable, survive. From her vantage point, Maya watched the herd tear the aliens apart. She whispered into her recorder, "They fight like an army. They know where to hit. It's like they're following orders no human gave." Back in orbit, Koresh's superiors demanded an update. He tried to sound calm. "The beasts react to pain with aggression. It is impressive, but temporary." They didn't believe him. They saw the same feeds, the endless footage of soldiers retreating from stampedes, flying drones pulled down by talons, tanks buried under swarms of ants. The Vorak Dominion had crushed every world they met, but none had ever fought back with nature itself. Meanwhile, in the dense Amazon jungle, a new problem emerged. The alien scientists had captured a group of predators, jaguars, anacondas, even a massive crocodile, for behavioral experiments. But during the night, all cages were found open, all guards dead. The footage showed something impossible: the animals working together. The jaguar unlocked the gate. The anaconda dragged a key card. The crocodile waited at the exit. Someone or something was connecting them. The scientists called it the Earthlink effect. Koresh called it nonsense superstition. Still, he began ordering new safety protocols: triple locks, remote containment, no live experiments. His officers whispered that their general feared shadows now. Across the planet, strange things continued. In Siberia, wolves surrounded a crashed ship and destroyed its core reactor before humans even arrived. In the Pacific, orcas attacked alien submarines, tearing through hulls with precision strikes. News spread fast. Humanity watched in disbelief as nature defended them. Hashtags filled the networks. Ark's Earth Fights Back and We're the Wild. Maya Torres became the unofficial link between scientists and military forces. Her reports were the first to suggest that something was guiding the animals through electromagnetic signals, low-frequency pulses that matched the planet's magnetic field. "Maybe Earth itself is defending," she said in one broadcast, "using its oldest guardians." Koresh, now humiliated by constant losses, demanded total orbital firepower. "Burn their forests, poison their seas? If the beasts will not bow, erase their world." His fleet launched a wave of fire. From orbit, blue plasma rained like divine punishment. But nature adapted. The rainforests ignited, and then it rained. Clouds gathered within minutes, storms bursting over the flames as if summoned by command. Lightning struck alien drones from the sky. Ocean waves rose higher than predicted, swallowing landing crafts. Maya watched from a bunker as the storm consumed the alien positions. The thunder rolled like growls from the heavens. She whispered, "It's not just the animals anymore. The whole planet's fighting." Koresh stared at the chaos on his monitor, disbelief twisting his face. He muttered, "How can a world have will?" The answer came in silence. The comms filled with one short message intercepted from human transmissions. 3 words that burned into every alien channel: "We do not kneel." The message spread through the fleets, through the soldiers' helmets, through every system linked to human frequencies. Then, deep in the forest of Earth, something stirred, a pulse so old, so powerful, that even the orbiting ships trembled. Animals across continents lifted their heads at the same moment, as if listening to a single heartbeat. Koresh finally understood the truth. He hadn't started a war of conquest. He had awakened a planet that remembered every extinction attempt it had ever survived. The roar that followed came from everywhere at once, from the oceans, the mountains, the deserts, the frozen poles. Every creature joined in, one sound that shook the air and split the clouds. It wasn't chaos. It was unity. And as the Vorak listened to that impossible symphony, fear, true primal fear, entered their bones for the first time in history. The war was no longer about domination. It was about survival. General Koresh had stopped sleeping. The war logs filled his screens: lost squads, downed transports, broken drones. The reports no longer spoke of resistance. They spoke of coordination. Attacks came from every terrain, timed perfectly, executed with intelligence. His advisors whispered theories: human sabotage, planetary consciousness, or divine punishment. Koresh ignored them. He had fought across 9 galaxies. He knew organized warfare when he saw it. But this had no leader, no command center, no pattern his machines could predict. On Earth, Captain Maya Torres stood beside a satellite uplink station built into a mountain range. Around her, human scientists worked day and night, trying to understand the phenomenon they now called Earthlink. Every test showed the same thing: electromagnetic frequencies pulsing through the ground, water, even the air. It wasn't random. The signals had rhythm, communication. Maya stared at the graphs on her monitor. "It's talking," she murmured. Dr. Havel, an older biologist beside her, nodded. "Not to us, to them." He pointed to a live drone feed showing a pack of wolves surrounding a downed alien walker. The creatures approached cautiously, sniffed the wreck, then retreated in perfect formation, exactly when the signal spiked. "They're responding to the same pattern," Havel whispered. "Earth's using its own children to fight back." Maya leaned closer to the microphone. "Then maybe we can answer." Back in orbit, Koresh's ship drifted through the cold void above the blue planet. The alien general replayed the intercepted human broadcast again, the 3 words that haunted his crew. "We do not kneel." Every time he heard it, his heartbeat changed. Fear, rage, confusion, it all twisted inside him. "If they refuse to kneel," he growled, "then they will crawl." He ordered the fleet to prepare Operation Silent Forest, a planet-wide pulse that would erase all organic neural signals. It would kill birds, beasts, and likely many humans, but he no longer cared. Victory mattered more than honor. On the ground, Maya and her team detected the charging energy field before the strike. The readings were off the charts. "They're going to fry the biosphere," someone shouted. "We can't stop it," another said. Maya clenched her jaw. "Maybe we don't have to." She opened a link to the deep-frequency transmitter connected to Earthlink's signal relay. "If Earth can talk," she whispered, "maybe it can hear us too." She broadcast one message through the system, simple, calm, and human. "They're coming to destroy you. We stand with you. Fight with us." The transmission vanished into static. Nothing happened. For a moment, everyone thought it failed. Then, all across the world, animals began to move again. Cameras showed birds rising into the air in spirals, whales breaching in coordinated bursts, herds forming into massive formations like armies assembling for war. Dr. Havel stared at the readings. "The signal's multiplying. It's bouncing across every biome." The pulse from Koresh's ship fired, an invisible storm that swept over the planet. Humans braced for death, but instead of silence, there was music. The pulse hit the ground and reflected back in waves of energy, stronger than before. The Earthlink had absorbed the alien frequency, twisted it, and sent it back. Koresh's ship convulsed. Circuits exploded. Systems failed. The very signal he created now infected his fleet. Screens went black, engines stalled, weapons melted in their mounts. What is this?" he roared, clutching his head. "It's turning against us!" His communications officer screamed. "The planet! It's fighting back through our own tech!" Koresh slammed his claws on the console, sparks flying. "Shut it down!" All of it. But it was too late. On the ground, the skies lit up as the alien fleet flickered like dying stars. One by one, ships began to fall, huge glowing carcasses crashing into oceans and deserts. In the silence that followed, the Earthlink grew stronger. The frequencies became clearer, structured, almost like language. Maya listened to the translated waves through her headset. The sound was deep, layered, ancient. She heard words not spoken but felt. "You protect us." "We protect you," her breath caught. "It answered," she whispered. The scientists stared in disbelief. The planet, its entire living system, had achieved something like consciousness, born from the combined instinct of survival and unity among all its creatures. Dr. Havel wiped his eyes. "We're not just residents. We're part of it." Maya looked out the bunker window where elephants marched through the smoke, lions pacing beside them, eagles circling overhead. "Then let's fight as one world," she said quietly. In orbit, Koresh's crippled ship floated in chaos. Half his crew was dead. The remaining officers begged him to retreat. But his pride, sharper than logic, refused. "You think I will run from beasts?" he snarled. "I am Vorak. I was born to conquer." He activated the ship's last weapon, a planetary spear cannon meant to split a moon. Its energy core pulsed brighter than any star. On the ground, Maya's sensors picked up the charge. "He's going to vaporize the surface," she said, voice shaking. "It'll kill everything," Earthlink responded instantly. The signal surged through every natural conductor on the planet, rivers, roots, tectonic plates. The ground vibrated with a frequency that bent metal and shattered stone. Lightning split the sky, striking upward instead of down. Clouds twisted, storms formed, and from the oceans rose towers of water like pillars of defiance. Koresh saw it through the viewport. "Impossible," he whispered. The spear cannon fired, but before the beam could strike, the planet's magnetic field spiked, redirecting the blast back toward the ship. The explosion lit the night sky brighter than day. The alien flagship broke apart in silent fire. Maya stood outside the bunker, feeling the shock wave pass through her. For a moment, the entire planet glowed with blue light, alive, pulsing, aware. Dr. Havel whispered, "It protected itself." Maya nodded slowly. "No, it protected us." Above them, the wreckage of the Vorak fleet burned like a second sunrise. And deep beneath the earth, in the endless web of life, something new kept breathing. The link between every living being, human and beast, stronger than ever before. The Earthlink had truly awakened. The skies were quiet for the first time in weeks. The wreckage of alien ships drifted like ash across the atmosphere, glowing faintly as they fell. What remained of the Vorak dominion hid behind the shadow of the moon, wounded and silent. On Earth, the fires were dying. Rivers flowed red with metal, not blood. Every mountain echoed with new life. Humanity looked upward and realized something simple and terrifying. They had survived not because of weapons, but because Earth itself had fought beside them. Captain Maya Torres stood on a ridge overlooking the plains. Below, thousands of animals moved together. Elephants clearing debris, wolves patrolling borders, birds carrying small devices the humans attached for reconnaissance. It wasn't chaos anymore. It was organized defense, she whispered. We're part of the same army now. Beside her, Dr. Havel adjusted his scanner. Earthlink's frequency has stabilized. It's not just nature reacting. It's communication. Shared instincts turned into coordination. Maya smiled faintly. Then let's learn to speak back. Teams across continents worked day and night translating the pulses. They discovered patterns matching neural rhythms of both humans and beasts. When synchronized, they could send thought-based commands, not orders, but emotions. Calm, warning, trust, rage. In the African desert, a squad surrounded by alien remnants used this system for the first time. Their signaler broadcast one word: defend. Within minutes, jackals and vultures descended on the alien survivors, cutting off escape routes while elephants blocked the horizon. Not one human died. The footage spread instantly. Around the world, soldiers began working side by side with local wildlife. Wolves carried sensors, falcons scouted skies, dolphins dragged damaged drones from the oceans. It looked like myth brought to life. But in the dark corners of the galaxy, the Vorak were regrouping. Karesh's second-in-command, General Vare, studied the destroyed fleet and swore vengeance. They think beasts and humans can stand against us? We will bring their planet down piece by piece. He prepared a counterstrike, a series of orbital probes designed to infect the planet's electromagnetic field. If successful, it would sever the Earthlink and turn every animal hostile, breaking the new alliance from within. Down below, Maya sensed it first. The air grew heavy again, static crawling through her bones. Earthlink pulsed erratically. Animals became restless. Birds screamed and scattered. They're trying to corrupt the signal, she said. Dr. Havel frowned. They're poisoning communication. We need to reinforce it. How? He pointed at the field terminal. Through connection, the same way Earth speaks. Humans have to join the network fully. Maya hesitated. You mean merge? Yes, mind to mind. But it's dangerous. We don't know what it will do. She looked out across the horizon, where wolves howled and elephants stomped in growing confusion. If Earth stood for us, then we stand for it. She placed her hands on the transmitter. The machine hummed, and the pulse struck her chest like lightning. For a heartbeat, she saw everything. The deep oceans, the frozen poles, the deserts glowing under stars. She saw through the eyes of eagles and felt the ground move with the rhythm of herds. Her voice echoed in countless frequencies, human and not. We are one. Hold together. The signal stabilized instantly. Around the world, animals calmed. The alien virus in the frequency burned away like frost under sunlight. For a few seconds, all of Earth breathed as one. Humans felt the heartbeat of the planet through their veins. And somewhere in the silence between thunder and wind, the Earthlink spoke back. Together, we endure. On the moon's far side, General Vare watched his plan collapse. Impossible, he hissed. No species unites like that. But Earth's sensors detected his fleet before he could strike again. For the first time, humanity wasn't reacting. They were ready. Guided by Earthlink, missile systems locked onto perfect trajectories, while birds relayed coordinates faster than satellites. When the Vorak Armada descended, they met storms already forming, lightning crawling across space like living veins. Each bolt carried Earthlink's energy, shredding shields and frying controls. Vare screamed into the comms, "Retreat! The planet itself is—" The transmission cut off in static. Below, Maya opened her eyes. She was weak but alive. Around her, the animals stood still, watching her quietly. The honey badger from the first recordings. Its fur singed, armor dented, limped toward her and sat beside her boots. She smiled softly. Guess we're in this together. Dr. Havel knelt next to her, awed. You merged minds with the entire biosphere. Do you understand what that means? Maya shook her head. It means we finally listened. For the next few days, humans and beasts worked in harmony. Cities rebuilt faster than ever, guided by instinctive unity. Food shared, danger sensed, pain lessened. The fear of invasion had turned into something bigger. Belonging. Across the stars, fractured transmissions from the Vorak carried a single, fearful phrase, "Do not approach the blue world." Earth had become a symbol, the planet that refused to kneel, that fought as one living mind. At dusk, Maya stood by the same ridge as before, watching flocks weave shapes in the fading light. The air pulsed softly with the heartbeat of Earthlink. She felt peace for the first time since the war began. But deep underground, sensors picked up strange energy readings again. The Earthlink was changing, growing faster, stronger, reaching further than before. Dr. Havel whispered, "It's evolving. Maybe it's not done yet." Maya nodded, eyes on the horizon. Then neither are we. Space had always been the Vorak's home. Cold, dark, predictable, the kind of place where they could control everything. But after Earth, even the void began to feel dangerous. General Veyer's surviving fleet drifted near Mars, trying to repair itself in silence. Communication between ships was filled with fear and superstition. Every few hours, the sensors caught strange pulses, signals that came not from their systems, but from the planet behind them. Earth was still talking. Veer snarled, "It's a dying world. Let it scream." But even he could feel the vibration in his bones. Back on Earth, Captain Maya Torres lay in a recovery pod. Her mind was still half-linked to the planet's frequency. Doctors warned that prolonged exposure might kill her, but she refused to disconnect. She was the only one who could interpret Earthlink's growing pulse. And it was pulsing faster every hour. When she opened her eyes, she saw something new in the data. The signal wasn't just stabilizing, it was reaching outward. Dr. Havel leaned over her monitor. "It's expanding beyond the atmosphere." He stopped, stunned. "Contacting something?" Maya whispered. "No, it's following them." In orbit, alien ships began to lose navigation. Magnetic storms, sudden radiation bursts, gravity distortions. Space itself turned hostile. The Vorak didn't know that the planet's field, now alive, was reshaping the near-Earth environment. Solar ones bent like they were obeying orders. Veer shouted at his crew, "Raise shields to maximum!" The officer trembled. "General, the shields respond to our commands only half the time. The systems are..." listening to something else. Inside their consoles, faint patterns appeared, waves matching the same rhythm Earthlink used. The planet had infected their technology through electromagnetic memory. On the ground, humans launched their first coordinated counterattack. Not nuclear, not orbital, biological. Carriers filled with Earthlink-charged spores, spread by flocks of birds and ocean currents, created an invisible web that extended beyond the atmosphere. The spores interacted with the aliens' machines, echoing the Earthlink pattern and converting circuits into living conductors. Maya watched it unfold in the command center. "We're turning their weapons into part of us," she said quietly. The first major Vorak cruiser went silent. Then another. Then 3 more. Their lights dimmed as if drained by unseen roots. When Vaer looked out his viewport, he saw it. Tendrils of light stretching from Earth like veins through space. Blue and green pulsing with rhythm, weaving through debris and wrapping around his ships. "Cut us free!" he roared. No one moved. The crew's skin glowed faintly, veins shimmering with the same color as the light. They screamed as the link reached them too. For the first time in Vorak history, their technology had turned into their enemy. Maya's voice came through the open comms. Her tone calm but fierce. "You wanted to dominate the wild. Now you're part of it." The ships began to twist as if crushed by invisible pressure. Energy cores exploded one by one, silent blossoms of fire against the black sky. The light from Earth shimmered brighter with every detonation, feeding on the energy, learning from it. Dr. Havel whispered, "It's absorbing their technology." "Not just tech," Maya said. Knowledge. On the planet, animals grew restless again. Eagles circled higher, whales sang deeper, and the wolves began howling toward the stars, as if sensing victory far above them. In the ashes of orbit, one ship remained. Vair's flagship, the Emperor's Fang. Its hull was scarred, but its main weapon still worked, a gravitational cannon capable of ripping apart continents. He aimed it at Earth and screamed, "If I cannot rule you, I will erase you!" But the planet responded before he could fire. Earthlink reached through the gun's core, turning its energy inward. The beam curved, folding space itself, striking the ship from within. The explosion was blinding. From below, it looked like a new star had been born. When the light faded, only fragments of the fleet drifted in silence. Human command centers cheered, cried, prayed, all at once. But Maya didn't smile. She stared at the readouts. "It's not over." Dr. Havel turned to her. "What do you mean?" "They're gone. The Dominion isn't just ships. It's an empire. They'll come again, stronger, angrier. But now Earthlink knows their design, their frequencies, their minds." Havel frowned. "So you're saying Earth learned?" She nodded. "It's evolving faster than we can understand." Outside, storms swept the planet again. Not violent, but rhythmic, like breathing. Lightning flickered in patterns that matched human neural waves. The Earthlink wasn't sleeping. It was expanding beyond defense, preparing for what came next. From the stars, new signals flickered. The rest of the Dominion had seen the destruction of their fleet. Panic spread through their colonies. They sent one message across the void, short and trembling. "Do not challenge the world of beasts. It belongs to death itself." Maya looked at the sky, the stars shimmering through the clouds. She felt the hum of Earthlink in her veins. The planet was alive, watching, waiting. She whispered, "The war started because they thought we were weak. Now they'll remember our name." And far away, across the galactic channels, that name spread, whispered with fear by every species that had ever doubted humanity's home. Earth, the planet that did not kneel. The war was over. For the first time in memory, the night sky above Earth held only stars. No ships, no fire, no falling metal. The world had survived. But survival was no longer enough. In the ruins of what was once a battlefield, Captain Maya Torres walked among silent machines now half buried in soil. Vines had started to grow over alien steel. Nature was claiming victory in its quiet way. Animals roamed freely through the wrecks. Wolves slept inside broken transport hulls. Birds nested on plasma turrets. The planet healed itself faster than anyone expected. The strange hum of the Earthlink still pulsed softly under every footstep, like a heartbeat deep beneath the ground. Dr. Havel joined her, carrying a tablet glowing with new readings. "The signal hasn't faded," he said. "It's changing again, slower, smarter. It's not just defending anymore, it's thinking." Maya looked at the distant horizon where the oceans shimmered under sunlight. "Maybe it's learning peace." Around the world, humanity had rebuilt differently this time. No more fences to keep the wild away. Cities grew with open borders built around forests and rivers instead of over them. Animals and humans lived side by side, not pets, not tools, partners. A new global council formed, the first alliance between human nations and the guardians of Earthlink. Their symbol was simple, a single paw and a human hand crossing over a blue world. Every year, they honored the day the war ended. The children called it the Roar of Unity. In the following months, faint signals began to reach Earth from deep space, encrypted messages, terrified warnings, even surrender codes. The galaxy had heard of the fall of the Dominion. Rumors spread that the Beast Planet had destroyed an empire using storms and claws. At first, humans ignored them. But one day, the Earthlink pulsed again, this time outward. The pulse didn't just carry energy. It carried memory, Across the void, other worlds began to feel it. Their oceans stirred, their skies cracked with lightning, their forests trembled. Life everywhere reacted as if remembering something old and powerful. Dr. Havel studied the data with awe. "It's spreading the instinct to resist," he said. "Teaching other worlds what we learned?" Maya smiled faintly. "Then Earth's not just defending itself anymore. It's awakening the galaxy." In the rebuilt capital, she stood before the council and spoke to every human colony and allied world. Her voice was calm but strong, carried live through the same channels that once spread fear. "They came to make us bow. We stood as one. Not because we were stronger, but because we remembered who we are. Children of a wild world that never surrendered. Let the stars know, no world should kneel again." Her speech became legend. Within weeks, dozens of alien species contacted Earth not as conquerors, but as students. They wanted to understand how a single world had united its life into one will. Scientists called the new alliance the Concord of Living Worlds. Philosophers called it something simpler, the second evolution. And through it all, the Earthlink kept growing. Satellites detected faint pulses moving far beyond the solar system, signals echoing through space like a song that would never fade. At night, Maya would sometimes walk outside the city walls to the open plains where the war had begun. She would sit beside a scarred honey badger, older now, slower, but still proud. The little creature would grunt and press its head against her boot. She'd smile and whisper, "You started all this." You know, thunder rumbled in the far distance, soft and warm, almost like laughter. Dr. Havel's final report described the Earthlink as a distributed planetary intelligence formed by emotion, instinct, and will. But to those who lived through the war, it was something simpler, home. Years later, when travelers from distant galaxies came to visit, they would always pause before setting foot on the blue planet. The stories warned them, be respectful. The ground remembers. From orbit, Earth looked unchanged, green, blue, alive, but every species in the galaxy knew better. Under its calm skies slept a power born from unity, a promise written in storm and blood. We are Earth. We do not kneel. And somewhere, deep beneath the oceans, the Earthlink pulsed once more, steady, watchful, and waiting, because peace was never the end. It was only the next beginning.